everybody, it's Mr. D-Dog here, and today I'm going to be showing you around the GGS server now that Season 1 is done. Now, you might not know what GGS is, and that is an SMP, which is Survival Multiplayer, which is a type of Minecraft server, and I've done a few videos on it, and the way you know that is any video with the GGS logo on the top right hand corner is a video from this server. Now, as I said, Season 1 is complete, so I'm going to be giving a quick tour. However, I'm only going to be showing off things that I was involved with, as I joined late and am not familiar with everyone else's bases. Now, the area I will show off is not just mine, it is part of Phoenix Incorporated, which is a group of players along with myself inside this server. Now, where we're starting off is here under Lachsforelle's castle, at a simple villager trade hall, starting with Impulse's breeder, which has been turned off for lag reasons, as we no longer needed villagers after filling up our trade hall. They go through a minecart track underground up to here, where you do job selection with all the work tables, and then once they are selected you send them through. They get sent through to here, with the minecart track here leading out to the appropriate stand, which would be empty. You then put them in, and then you zombify them by flicking this, letting the zombie down there eat them, and then curing them with potions of weakness and golden apples. Now, this has melons and pumpkins imported from a different build that I will show you later. Everything in here has been optimised by having all the trades brought down as cheap as possible, and every villager brought up to the master rank, which is shown by the diamond emblem there, and the master rank there. This first area was one of the later builds for us, but as most of us didn't join near the beginning of the season, it was a good and stable thing to get going. Lax also had the rest of his castle up here, and then it gives you a very nice view over the rest of the Phoenix area. Right, so then we'll follow the path round, which leads us down here, past a little stage wagon after going over the bridge, where you can see some of the armor stand work. We haven't done that much, but it is on this server for us to do. I'll show you a list of all the data packs later, just so you know what we are playing with. Right, and as we head up here you get to see some of the custom trees, mainly built by Cynny Mini, another member of Phoenix, as well as the Cactus farm, which was one of Cynny Mini's projects. Flows up here into a nice simple system where we collect it. This is because one of our few shops on the server was to sell dyes. Although not the most productive shop, it served well, and with all the necessary farms it gave us a lot to build, as well as help with any projects we need by already having the dyes. This here is a simple super smelter. The design is by Cubfan, which there will be a link to in the description. Very simple here, inside just a nice little medieval style build, which is the style for pretty much our entire area. Now, if we follow the path back up along here, it will lead us across a little bridge and over to the previously mentioned melon and pumpkin farm build. This sends the melon and pumpkins through an underground water track over to the trade hall. Very simple design here, with Ilmango's melon and pumpkin farm just centralised there, and here, just passing it through there down into the trade hall. Right, heading on next, we follow the path once again and up this hill over to the snow and egg farm hut. Now, very empty and very rarely used farms, but they were sufficient and they supplied us if we ever needed it. Now, this little hill is built up, it is mainly terraformed. Underneath there's very little there, and I just built over this area to support the house quite nicely and not to make it look weird, bordering our little mine shaft here. Now, if we head down into the mine shaft, it is all quite nicely built up. This was one of the first builds I did on the GGS server, and if you head in there, it just has this design that continues on all the way down to the end for all our mines. Right. Very simple system to get in, just an up and a down bubble vator that take us to and fro the surface quite neatly. Back up here, and here we are met at a crossroads with the AFK Fisher here, and then up here to the first ever build I did on this server, which was my starter base. That's another trick by the armor stands there, and then in here, just a nice little thing, all my dogs, and nice little attic. Now, as they were early on in the season, not all these builds are mine, as I'm not the best builder, and as I've been working on them, quite a few have been tutorialized. Anything that is tutorialized will be in the description for you to look at your own. Here we have a nice little pier with a boat heading over to Cynny Mini's project, which was a cat island. She did this to try and get the achievement for getting every breed of cat, which she was successful in. You can see a few more armor stands around here, just as we nip around here. I have a few cats resident there as well, and it's just a place for us to put all of our pets. Now, if we follow the path up here, we've got a nice little wagon and a stable built by Cynny Mini. We've got some horses and a llama. We've got 2 regular horses and a skeleton horse. In here we have a storage room, which we never use this half of. We only ever use this half of. Quite explanatory with the items in the frames. The one that are more obscure are named, so you can just look at them and see what they are. Very neatly organised, just to help us out. Nothing mechanical or manual. But if you head down here, it leads us to the sheep farm nether portal, which we'll be returning to shortly to head into the nether for some of our other projects. Right, following the path along, you've got Karrens' house, who was a tamed pillager, who sadly died because there was an accidental raid summoned and it would not end until she was killed, and Cynny Mini's starter house, as well as a nice little aesthetic campsite there. Here we have a map of the area and what I did to deposit my items in case anyone was interested from the server about my inventory. So here you have just a nice little map of the area, as well as some coordinates to out to base things that were ours. Right, following the path over for our last 3 builds on the server, that is the potions hall, which is this nice little tower here. We head on in, we've got some guards here, as well as throughout the tower. You head down, you've got a 2-way bubble vator and Impulse's potions maker design. Right, and we head back on up. There we go. There are more armor stands up there, but that is purely aesthetic. Whereas if we head out here and across the path, we have a little house here with down here it is hiding a 0-tick sugarcane farm. Now these won't work in the next version of GGS, which will be up shortly and I will be making videos on, which is why I wanted to give you a tour now to explain what it is we do on this season. If you head up here, this nice little house is holding our 0-tick bamboo farm. Now both this and the sugarcane farm were late developments just to ease the projects by giving us easy supply of materials that can be used, such as sugarcane for paper for rockets. Right, that is now everything in this area built by us done. So we are going to head off to first mob farm and then over to the flower farm before heading into the nether and then the end. So if we fly out here, just off of the coast, we will shortly come in sight of the mob farm, which is Nembomb's design, which again will be a link to in the description. Just coming into view here, very simple, just built over the ocean with a glass AFK platform here. If you want an explanation on how it works, then check out his video, which I do suggest. You see the pool of arrows which I've just thrown into the ocean because we had way too many. Now if we return to base quickly, I can head over to the flower farm, which is not far from here, which had 2 parts, an underground flower farm by Ilmango and a simple flower farm that I built. The simple one gathers the blue cornflowers, whilst Ilmango's gathers quite a number of others, and we also had a 2-high bone meal farm for tall flowers there. for simple colours. This is all to fuel our dye shop, which was one of our few sources of diamonds, along with digging and looky at my bookie. The name was taken from Karrens, and the design is a simple bookshelf. I'll show you around the shopping district later though. Right, coming in here is our flower farm. We have my cornflower farm here, which I'm going to turn off so you can actually hear me. Very simple, as you could probably see. Bone meal, then shifting floor, then when turned off, water is released to push it into a storage system down there. I never got round to designing a house to go around the outside, so it is just exposed redstone. It's probably not the neatest redstone you could have had for this system, but I'm proud of it as it is 100% my redstone. Right, head into this little castle here with the Phoenix banner, and downstairs there is Ilmango's big flower farm there, as well as the Tootle flower farm here. Now, I won't be displaying these very simple farms that you can find on YouTube, and there will be a link to them in the description. Right, heading back on up, we will return to our main base before heading into the Nether to show off the Nether hub, then spawn / the shopping district, and finally heading into the end to show off our Witherroot farm. Right, and while we're flying back over, it gives me a chance to discuss what this server is. This server is an SMP. For anyone who doesn't know what an SMP is, it is a survival multiplayer, which is a type of Minecraft server. If you're looking for an example, it's something like the Hermitcraft server, but we are very different in the ways we handle things. You may have seen a few videos that I've posted on the GGS server, however, due to us joining late and there not being much time left before 1.16, I decided not to make a series out of it and just have a chance to play it normally. However, with Season 2 starting this weekend, in the pre-versions of 1.16 being loaded into snapshots, I will be making videos. Right, there's a nice little ice pathway here, heading back to spawn. As you can see from that distance there, we weren't very far from spawn at all, but just a nice little base area over here. All 4 of these portals take us to the shopping district. Right, I'm just going to have a quick fly in the air so you can see everything, which is there. Quite an impressive spawn. However, I'm mainly just going to focus on the 3 shops that belong to Phoenix. First here is our shop built by Cynny Mini. Quite a nice little design of a paint bucket, and then all the dyes laid out here stocked. I am using a texture pack, which I will link to in the description, which turns just the dye texture into basically a pot of dye, which I think makes it look a lot more realistic and the dyes a lot more tame. Our other 2 shops here are Looky at My Bookie. The name was directly taken from Karrens because I thought that name was just amazing, whose channel there will be a link to. And then we just have a standard bookshelf for the design, with all the enchantments laid out here and here, payments being deposited there, and then just a quaint little firework design here for our fireworks shop. Right, so that is all the shops Phoenix owned. However, heading back into the Nether here, we can head over seeing the Nether hub designed by Cynical Realist, as well as the tunnel leading to one of the projects I did, which was on camera, which is my statues design. For anyone who hasn't seen it, the statues are not my design, and there is a link to the original statues in that video. However, I want to show off my little statue haul that I made, just so anyone who hasn't seen it can see it in this video here. Now, it is along the east tunnel, which did not have much action this season. However, it had a few builds. Right, as we head over, we can see this nice pattern made by Cynical Realist, which will soon transform into a glass pattern, which is where my build is. Oh, we just went past it. Turning back and straight in, I just expanded the design down here to my project area. For anyone who hasn't seen this, that is a video I made on this area that will be linked in the description, which is clearly not mob-proof properly. However, it just showcases a few of statues made by someone else that I just thought were really nice and should be included. Again, links to the original statues are in the original video if you want to check that one out. Right then guys, I'm going to take a quick cut here and meet you back in the Nether Hub. Right then guys, so we're back in the Nether Hub. We're just going to take a quick journey down the North Tunnel, which again was designed by Cynical Realist, and head out to the end portal, which should be coming up anytime now on our right, and it's just here. This will show us the final farm that was built by Phoenix. It was one that I built, however I got the design from Impulse's video, who again got it from someone else. Link to Impulse's video and the original video will be in the description below. If we head through this portal here, should quickly teleport us apparently into the rain, and if we head off in this direction, we should just see the Wither Rose farm coming into view. So that is everything Phoenix has done on the GGS server, and I hope you guys will join me for the GGS Season 2 series that shall be coming to this channel very, very shortly. I'm just going to fly up here quickly as the noise from the Wither is very annoying to try and talk over. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed. This has been Mr. D-Dog, and I will see you all when I start the GGS Season 2 series very, very shortly. So, bye!
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's